I talk, you listen. Welcome to my one-man panel of madness.
Hey, it's Dr. Jiahu, and today we're going to talk about The Suicide Squad. Now, I will admit that one of the main reasons I was very excited about this second chapter of the Suicide Squad series, I think, because I heard a rumor that there was going to be a third one, was because Peter Capaldi is in it as the Thinker. And I really didn't know much about the Thinker until the announcement of Peter Capaldi as the character. And it's obviously he's a villain who has been featured in some of the animation cartoons. It's like, of course, it's an animated cartoon. So I know he was in a few of the early DC animations. I believe some that were not too long ago. But you would have seen the Thinker. It was just a different version, I believe, is what I read. It's like Steppenwolf. If you like the Steppenwolf you see in the movie, the new the new Steppenwolf from the Snyder Cut is a little different than the Justice League one by Joss Whedon. But anyways, back to the topic. So I was more excited about seeing Peter Capaldi than really excited about a new Suicide Squad movie. Although I do love Harley Quinn. That's one of the characters I think that makes the Suicide Squad. I know the first one, I'm not going to say I hated it because I didn't hate it. But I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I really enjoyed it because it was different than the other movies that had come out. And I think it actually, for me, was a lot more enjoyable than Batman vs. Superman. Even though I did like it, I enjoyed it. Suicide Squad had a little more funness, I guess, for me. And most of the reason I watched that movie was because of Harley Quinn. So I really did like the Harley Quinn character. I wasn't too thrilled with her own standalone movie. I thought it was okay, but I guess she works better in an ensemble team, of other Suicide Squad members. So this one, and I'm not going to give spoilers, so there's no spoilers in this review. I just remember going back to I think it was last year. Yeah, it had to have been last year, where they had the DC fandom event where they had everybody from Suicide Squad, and you got all excited because you had all these great actors in it, and I'll just say this: it's not what you think. It's definitely not what you think. James Gunn definitely is gonna surprise you, and maybe even shock you with the movie. With the you think it's gonna go one way, but it's not. But I in general I really did like this second edition of Suicide Squad, which is the Suicide Squad. It was a lot of fun. It was very, let's see, not just fun. I was going to say it was a lot more like a comic book movie, but, I really have enjoyed his movies, especially the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was kind of like, oh, is this just going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, but with DC characters? And it really wasn't. It was its own standalone movie, which is great, because sometimes that's the thing about some directors is you can tell by the way they directed one movie that the next movie they do is going to look similar or the same style. But this was a different, unique style. And it is kind of hard to talk about it without spoiling it. But enough to say is that it was a fun movie. So if you do get a chance, check it out. There are some scenes with Harley Quinn which just made me eek because they were so much fun. Some of the newer Suicide Squad members are fun. I will say the movie makes you like these people. It gives you a story to sort of engage with them. And I'm not saying the other one did, but the other one, it almost seemed like everybody had a little bit of a rushed introduction and that's it. This one, as you go through the movie, you learn a little more about these characters in depth. And you want to love these characters. They're supposed to be the bad guys, the villains or whatever, but they're really the heroes and they have so much more to say. and again, I'm trying to talk about this without spoiling it or saying things that might spoil, but and of course, Peter Capaldi as the Thinker was, for me, he's just Peter Capaldi, and I can never say anything negative about Peter Capaldi. He could be in a tinfoil commercial, and I'd rave about it, but I'm biased because I am a huge Peter Capaldi fan. I love him as the 12th Doctor, and as a Thinker, it is different than the 12th Doctor. So it's not like you're watching Peter Capaldi and it's like, oh yeah, there's the 12th Doctor. He's so different, and he still has this very creepy villain-esque way of portraying the character. And I believe in an interview he said he'd always wanted to portray a villain, and this is something he really wanted to do. And it was probably one of those DC fandom events where he was interviewed. But yeah, it just has a lot of fun elements to it. It moves rather well, so it's not like you're stuck in one part and it's like, now we got some exposition, and then we move into a little action, and no, it actually had a really fun flow. John Cena's character, I will say, cracked me up. He, and this isn't a spoiler, but he does mention, I think, in an interview that he's like the douchebag version of Captain America, and he is. And very early on, you just really like to hate his character. And the thing is, I never seen any of his movies really, so I didn't know how he was going to act. I know he was a wrestler and all that, so I wasn't too keen on, well, whatever. But his character really grew on me, and I really enjoyed his character. Actually, the team in the movie, and you'll see if you watch it, there's a really good sort of fellowship of the Suicide Squad scene, which was very lighthearted and fun, and again, it's some elements that were missed in the first Suicide Squad, which again I liked. It wasn't perfect, but this one I would definitely, if I had to give it a rating, let's call it out of 5 Geo stars or Doctor Who stars. Let's do that again. Out of 5 Doctor Geo Who stars, what would I give this? I would definitely give it a 4. Yeah, a 4. I think for me, nothing's ever going to be a 5 unless it makes me cry, scream, or fall off my chair. But definitely a strong 4, because it had elements that I really enjoyed, and I could sit through. It was like 2 hours and some plus minutes, which I don't know why, but every movie now being made is 2 hours and 30 minutes long. It's like, okay, that's a little bit long. So I did watch it at home on HBO Max, and I'm not plugging them, but I really do enjoy the fact that I can get these movies at home. It's not that I'm afraid to go to movie theaters, but I've never really... The thing about being at home is, you make your own popcorn, so you save money there. And I have a recipe that I can make my popcorn taste just as good as any popcorn in any movie theater. Plus, I can pause, go to the restroom, get a snack, come back. I have control of my environment. I have control of the AC, whatever I need. And I'm just saying, it makes you more comfortable. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So if you get a chance, check it out. I know it's on HBO Max or in theaters, but give it a chance, because as of searching this morning, it still has a 9 out of 10 rating on IMDb, as well as 91% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So a lot of people can't be wrong. So check it out, and until next time.